All right, so we are going to continue our if function or if statement or if expression, whatever you want to call it. This time around, we want to use the if in conjunction with the not function. All right. So now we've been given this record, this table, and then we have serial number here, donor, donation, medium, date, and result. Now, for the result, you want to output something. Now, I'm going to delete this so that we can really get to understand what we are about to achieve. Now, for the result here, what we are trying to achieve is that if the medium, all right, the medium here is not equals to cash, because we have criteria to exclude to be cash, right? So if the medium here, which we have here, is not equal to cash, then return the name of the donor, all right? Otherwise, return nothing. Let the result be empty, all right? So on the medium here, we have online. We have, for the first person here, we have Adam as donor, and then the medium he used to make his donation is online. Now, because his medium is online and is not same as cash, what we're going to do is that we're going to return the name of the donor, which is Adam here. Now, we're going to see how to make that real quick. So we simply say equals to, and then we're going to be doing what we need to do, the if statement. Of course, we double click on that and then see what we're going to be doing. We want to be using if and then the not. If and not. If and not. Now, how are we going to apply the not? The not function comes inside here. Not is also a logical function that changes false to true and then true to false. So you say if, understand, the medium here is not equals to cash. All right. So we say medium, this one equals to cash here. Cash is an absolute reference, so F4, we're going to absolutely reference that. So we are saying that if the medium is not equals to cash, okay? In our case here, medium here is online and it's not equals to cash. Now, what is the value that should be returned? What is the value that we should return? We should return the donor, that is C5 here, the name, which is Adam here in this case. Otherwise, if this medium here is equals to cash, return what? Nothing. Simply say nothing here, and then we enter. So as we can see that we have Adam. Why? Because medium here is online. And then the cash here, the criteria to exclude cash here is what we have here. We have cash. Medium here is not equal to cash. That's why we are now returning Adam. That's the donor's name here as result. Okay. Now that's very straightforward and that's very easy. Now, because we use an absolute reference, I can simply drag down the formula like so. And then it doesn't shift. You can see that the cash has been referenced and it doesn't move from that position. Let's check for other ones. The cash has been referenced is not moved from other position. Now looking at this particular one, we have it empty. Why is it empty? Because the medium here is cash and it is equals to the criteria to exclude, which is cash here. Since cash is equals to cash here, we now return the result to be nothing. Otherwise, we would have returned the name. So that's very straightforward and very easy. And that's how to combine the if function with the not function. So we are calculating the if and the not functions now. So we say if not, if this is not equals to this, okay, then this, and then otherwise this. All right, let's move to the next one real quick. We don't have all the time. All right, we're going to be using if with a logical function. We're going to be using if and then with logical function. How does it even work now? Looking at the data here, I want to return the type of data that is, okay? So looking at this one, that is a number, numeric data. This is what text data, all right? This is what an empty data. This is a kind of like a Boolean data, true, false, and all of that. So we want to be returning the type of data that we're selecting. So what are we going to do in this situation? So we're going to say, okay, what are we going to do in this situation? Check it out. I've written the formula out already just to save time. I'm going to explain what that formula is. Say if is text, if this value B5 is text, okay, let me just show you something, equals to is text. Is text, check whether a value is a text and return true or false. So I say is text, I'm going to select this, double click and check this, and I enter. So it is false. All right, so I've checked this, is text. Is this data a text? No. So it's false. All right, let me do it again. I'm going to run it down. I'm going to copy the formula down for mic here. True. So is text, is data, this mic here, text, true. So I return word true. So that's it. So that's just a simple thing that we just trying to achieve. So without further ado, let us see how to do the same thing without waste of time. And like I said, the formula will be made for us here. Let me explain it. If is text, so we check. If B5 is B5 here, this one, text. If it is true, return text. All right. If B5, this particular one, is number, what should we return? Number. If this particular data is blank, what should we return? Blank. If it is a logical value, then what should we return? Logical value. Otherwise, return what? Empty, nothing. All right? It's as simple as that. Okay, so we are just trying to like return the value of whatever data this is. You will just want to know the type of value it is with that function. So we enter. All right, so the first one is number. Let's run it down for every other this thing. So we can tell that 112 is a number, Mike is a text, 5.78 is a number. This is actually blank, so we return blank. This is Simon is a text, return text. This is a Boolean value, so we return logical value. This is false, so we return logical value. This is blank, so we return blank. This is also a number, return number. This is a text, so we return text. So what we simply do is just to check. We want to verify what each of these data is, okay? We check the first cell, we check this cell to see if this cell is a text, then return text. If this cell is a number, then return number. If this cell is blank, okay? So all those functions, like is blank, for instance, is blank is a function already. It checks reference to see whether it's an empty cell. So you can always say is blank, double click here and check for this one. Okay, B12 is blank, so it's true. All right, so is number, call about is number equals to is number. So that's the function we use to check whether a value is a number. Check this one. Is it true? Yes, it's true. So we are simply applying the same formula there, and then you know what the drill is now. So it's very simple, it's very straightforward. You can do it. And then you can also do it yourself. Okay? Do it yourself. Let's move to the next one without further ado. Let's talk about the if. We want to be using the if and then with an error. Okay. Now, before I even get into doing that, let me show you something real quick. Now, if I divide, let's say this, let's say 24 by 0, it should give an error. This is an error message here, div 0, because you should not divide any value, any number by 0. So this is an error message on its own. So we want to be combining the if and then with the error to check error. But in our case here, instead of returning the error message or the error value, we want to skip that error value. And then if there is an error, let's not put that error. Understand? Let that error not show. You don't want to display that error message down. But if there is no error, then let the value of a division be seen. Okay, what am I even saying? Let me show you real quick. Now, for instance, now check this one out. Let's do like this. I take it outside. Equals to, okay, 24 divided by 24 divided by 6. There is no error. The value is what? 4, as you can see here. All right, so we allow that one to be, okay? But how about for this one, 24 divided by 0. It gives an error here. So we do not want this error to show. All right, we don't want this error to show. So instead of this error, let us just make it an empty cell. Let the cell be empty. So without further ado, let's see how to perform. Let's see how to perform that real quick. So what do we do in this case? We say equals to if, double click. Logical test here says is error. All right, is error already checks whether a value is in error and returns true or false. All right, so we are using that function. If is error, you double click is error here like this. Is error, then what's the value? The value is now the dividend and the divisor. This one divided by this one. If the value of that will return an error, understand, what should we give is true? What should be the value to display if true? Display nothing. Nothing. Otherwise, display what? The division of this. This divided by this. Whatever be the value that will bring out, then display that one. And we enter and voila. So we look at the first one. 24 divided by 6. There is no error. Okay? Because there is no error, now return the value that 24 divided by 6 gives. Now, we go down. Let's do it for every other one. 24 divided by 1.2. There is no error. And the answer, the quotient is 20. So we allow the quotient 20. Okay? And now let's look at this one. 24 divided by 0, there is an error. So because there's an error, what do we do? Instead of us return the value of the error, we say nothing. So we make it an empty cell. Let the cell be empty. All right. And then that's the reason we just make it empty and we do not return the value, which is this div 0. So that's how we use if in conjunction with the is not. All right. Is error, so that we can check if there's error and then we can use our if function to determine whether that error should be displayed or whether it should not be displayed. So that's very simple, that's very straightforward. Let's move to the next thing. All right, now, this is quite very interesting. We're using the if with concatenate and the ampersand. If we concatenate and but we can use if with definitely almost any other. It can work in conjunction with every other function, literally any function at all. So we are going to be using if this time around with the concatenate and ampersand. Like I said, this is a bit advanced stuff, and then some cool things we can achieve for that if statement. Once you understand the building block, then you can achieve anything. Now, looking at this table, we have salesman, sales target, sales achieved, and then the statement here. We have Mike. His sales target is 50. His sales achieved is 45. Okay, and then this formula, I want to show you. I want to explain what this formula is going to do. So in this case, we're going to be saying, okay, this is what we're trying to achieve here. If sales achieved is greater than or equals to the sales target, now what should be the value that should be displayed here? The sales value that should be displayed here is this value if true. Concatenate. Of course, you know what concatenate function does. Concatenate helps to like join two texts together. All right. So we're going to be saying concatenate this text here. Target achieve, then concatenate it with what? The value of B5, which is 45 in this case. Okay. Also concatenate it with what? Total sales and the value of total sales, which is what? D5 in this case. All right. All right. So if D5 is greater than or equals to C5, that's to say, if the sales achieved is greater than or equals to the sales target, now concatenate, the value if true is that return the concatenation of this text target achieved by what? B5, by B5. B5, which is Mike. Target achieved by B5. B5 is what? Mike. All right. Now we have then concatenated with what? Total sales. We are adding another text here, total sales, and then D5. D5 is what the sales achieved. That's for all of this is for the value if true. Otherwise, the value for the value if not true, that's if false. Return this target not achieved and This, sorry, ampersand here, what you can call and this ampersand here is also, it plays the function of the concatenate, right? It can be used to like join, beg your pardon. It can be used to join text. So in this case, now we're going to be saying target not achieved. And we are going to be adding, we're going to be joining this particular formula. C5 minus C5, that is the sales target minus the sales achieved. All right. And we join it again with the sales short. All right. Sales short, which is a text. And then that's just what we're going to achieve now. So let me just show you something. Let me show you the concatenate normally. Let's say we have, let me just show you a little like example. Say, good. Then we have girl. Using the concatenate, I can say equals to concatenate. We've done this before, but let me just show you. Text one, good. Or I can decide to, before even putting the good, I can say concatenate and putting the text. Glory is a space this concatenated by comma, right? This text, good, whatever value that is in this D15, comma, concatenated with this one. Now, because if I put girl here, this value here is going to be too close. So I'm going to make concatenated with a space. This, like this, then comma, girl. And then Viola, what do we have? Glory is a good girl. So we had glory as a text that glory is as a text that we put in to concatenate with what? The value of D15. And then we concatenate it with what? With the space here, and then the value of what? E15. All right. So that's for concatenation. How about for using the ampersand? The ampersand. Now let's do the same thing. It's equals to, you say glory is a ampersand. All right. I'll use my ampersand simply 7 like this, and I make a space. Space. All right. Okay, we good. Another ampersand now. The ampersand. Okay. Whatever value we have here. Okay. I make another ampersand here. This and enter. You see, we have the same thing. Oh, because we did not make a space here, let me edit that. So we have this ampersand. Let's make a space, ampersand, a space like so, space like so. And I put an ampersand again. Ampersand is just a shift 7. So we can see that the ampersand and the concatenate work together. So we are looking at how we are to incorporate the concatenate and the ampersand. We can use any of them, right? Along with our word, in conjunction with our if statement. So in our case here, we're looking at this. Maybe I'm going to erase this and then manually type in this formula so that you can really get what we're trying to do. I was trying to like not waste too much time. That's why I'm not going to put it here, but let's do it. Let's do it together. See, equals to if double click logical test D5 sales achieved is greater than or equals to C5 sales target. Okay. Logical statement is true. Okay, we're using a concatenate. Concatenation is just simply to like bind text together. Concatenate, we open bracket, the text, we're going to put in a text now. We put in a text and we say target achieved. This is very, very useful. Target achieved by who? We put a space and then close it. We concatenate it with what? By B5, which is the salesman Mike here. Okay. And then we now concatenate it again, B5, then we're going to see like, we make a space. Concatenate it again, space like so, okay. We put a comma, the comma is part of the text, please be careful. Total sales, like so, semicolon, space, close that, also concatenating the word D5. So what's that D5? Sales achieved. And that's that for that. We close that, all right? So we comma, all of this is a value if true. Concatenate all of this for the value if true. How about for the value if false? For the value if false, what should be returned? You should say, make a text, target not achieved. Okay, comma, all right. We make target not achieved, we close it, we close that text, target not achieved, and then we use our ampersand. Remember that ampersand and concatenate are still the same thing, but I think the ampersand is shorter. Shift 7, like this together, ampersand, we use it to join this particular format, this particular formula, C5, that sales target, C5 minus D5, like so, and we close it, then we use our ampersand again, all right, and then we are going to ampersand it, that's we're going to join another text, which is what? Sales short, okay, then we close it like so, and we close it, then we enter. So we can see that for Mike here, Mike has been able to like target not achieved. That's the statement for Mike from the formula that we've created. Target not achieved. Why? Because Mike was given a target of 50. He was able to sell just 45. Target not achieved, 5 sales short. Why? Because we simply deducted the sales target, sales achieved by the whole sales target, and then we can see that we still have 5 sales to go. So running this one down, we can see for other ones, we can see target achieved by Teresa, because Teresa have been able to achieve a target and her total sales is 55. Okay, so we see that her sales target was 45 and her target and sales achieved was 55. So target achieved by Teresa. All right, so total sales is equals to what? Total sales that she made is 55. Now let's look at for that of John. John also was able to achieve his target by what? By 60. And then I girl, let's change this I girl to maybe Abigail. Abigail. See, it's also updated here. So target achieved by Abigail is equals to what? Total sales 45. Okay, and then we see that Damien did not achieve the target, as you can see that he could not make up to the 55 that he was targeted to make, and he has 10 sales short. So we can, with this, we see that we can use our if function then together with the concatenate function and then the ampersand function just to come out with something logical. So we are just doing a kind of programming. This is programming. If you be running codes now, you should be used to this. It shouldn't confuse you. So that's just it. So we've learned the concatenate, this small example we did here, how we can use the concatenate, and then we use it to join text. So the concatenate and then the ampersand, both of them do the same thing. Concatenate, only that concatenate here, I don't have to concatenate should be like, I type it out like a function, while the ampersand shouldn't be, or it's not like a function. It can be used to join two texts. Can also be used to join a text and with also a formula or a particular cell as you reference. So that's very straightforward and sweet. All right, let's move to the next one without further ado. And we're going to be using the if in conjunction with the date. So we want to be using if in conjunction with date. Now, so we can see here as status, we want to return some okay, we want to return the following. If it meets a particular logic, if it meets a particular condition, that's the date here is our condition, is our logic, then let it return this status in time or delayed. in time or delayed. Now, what am I trying to say? Let's read real quick. I say we have student name, date of payment, and deadline. All right. So this student name, this student, Alex, for instance, he made payment on the 26th of July 2021. Now, he should pay before deadline. If the payment he made is before this deadline, understand, then he paid in time. Otherwise, he delayed his payment. That's just the status of his payments we want to display here so that we can know, okay, this young man paid on time or did not pay on time. So that's just it. I'm going to erase this so that we can do it together at once, and then we can really understand what we're trying to achieve. So like I said before, we can use if statements, if function in conjunction with other functions. So this time around, we want to use it with the date function. So equals to what here? If I double click on this, if this date is less than or equals to the deadline here. All right. So we use the date function. You see the date function is coming up. Date function. And what is the date? The year is 2021. The month is 7 and the day is 31st. All right. We close that date. Now that's a logical test. The value, if true, let's return in time. It means that Alex paid in time. In time. Otherwise, return that he would delay his payment. Right. So we close this and close bracket and we enter. So we see that Alex paid on the 26th of July, and that was earlier than 31st of July. So he paid in time. All right, let's roll it down for other people. You can see Morgan paid in time too. And then Sandra was delayed. She made her payment on the 8th, on the 4th of August. So she's delayed. Samson paid in time and Thomas delayed. All right, so that's just it. So in conclusion, we've seen how to use the if statement in conjunction with other statements. So it's a broad way of doing things. You can use it with the concatenate statement, concatenate function, the ampersand, and all of that. So it's a beautiful thing. So let's review what we've done so far. We in the first one, the nested if. Okay, this is not the first one. If overview, we saw how we use if to check if the status was achieved or not achieved. Here in this one, see how we use if with calculation. So we use if along with the calculation as shown here. As the calculation that was made here, we see if with a nested if statement. All right, to get a grade of student marks, and then we see how we use if and the not, and we see how we use if and then together with logical functions just to return the type of data that is here. All right, so we want to check, okay, if it's a number, return number, if it's a text, return text. And then also we use if to see how to boycott an error. If there's an error message popping and you don't want to display that error message, we use the if function, and then that's that. And we also see how to use if with the concatenate and ampersand. We just finished that. And then finally, we see how to use if with date function. Please make sure to go to this video over and over again and then keep practicing. By the side here, you have your practice part where you can do it yourself. Okay, I'm going to just try to do it on your own, and then if there is any confusion or something you don't understand, you let me know. Otherwise, we've come to the end of our class on the use of if statement. This is quite extensive. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.